Hi, and welcome to the Sci-Fi and Sunshine podcast. Hello, good afternoon. This is Bria from the Sci-Fi and Sunshine podcast. I'm a running mom and a speculative fiction author, and I am on the road. So this episode is going to be a little bit non-linear. After I completed the episode and at the end I talk about going to Disney Springs and the Lego store, some photos that I took of the Star Wars store that I want to include in here, and a few from the Lego store with some Star Wars Lego. I also want to shout out my author friend Jim Doherty. My son is loving book 2 of his series called The Little Girl in the Sea. Yeah, so if your kids love middle grade adventure fantasy, pick up this book. They will love it. It's the sequel, so also pick up the first book called The Great Awakening. So now I'm going to show you a slideshow of our little Disney Springs Star Wars stuff, and then I'll get into my topic of AI. Okay, lightsabers.
Wow. That actually is $139 and it's new.
Look at all the stuff.
Oh, this is a mini, no, this is a mini Millennium Falcon.
Oh yes, you've got a bigger one, don't you?
Yeah.
Alright, let's look at all these things. The dark falcon.
There's a dark, what? Look at this.
I see it.
Why is there a white Darth Vader?
Oh, that is interesting, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's this new ad.
Razor Crest.
There's a new ad where it looks like there's a bunch of new stuff where there's an evil, like this is Millennium Falcon.
They always love seeing what's at the Lego store. They know that Today's topic, as you can see, is about the stuff that AI is making up. And I find this topic very interesting because what I'm learning is that most people who use AI for searches, for example, so if you hop on something like ChatGPT or Grok or whatever they're all called, the expectation is that, like a Google search or any kind of online search, that you'll get facts kind of spit back to you. But I want to come at it from a specific angle in the writing world. You may or may not get a factual response. They're language models, so they're just based on all the scraped data that they've been able to scrape all over the internet. And I'm bringing up the author side of it because there was an article not too long ago. It was something like the top 20 books that this AI article was generating. Most of the books were invented. They were not real books, and they were real authors, which I think is why the mistake was very quickly caught, because these authors were like, that's not a title of mine. Article written, clearly AI had written it and made up all these books. It was meant to be an article based on reality of real books that exist out in the world, and instead the AI language model had invented titles. I find it fascinating. I find it a little bit scary. Some of the things that are happening in the world right now. There are videos of people with their Android robot toys, and these are legit like Android humanoid robots that people can just buy and have, and there's videos of like the robot is carrying somebody's purse and running with the kids. And this is not sci-fi. This is real, in the real world, happening right now. So I don't know. I feel like I say this almost every podcast. We have not been watching the Terminator movies enough. Like the people are just trusting. And we as human beings can be just so trusting toward things that make our lives more convenient. And I am guilty of it too. I am not saying I'm gonna lump myself in there. I think I'm about to come to a dead end. Okay, nope, okay. Sorry, I was visiting family in Claremont, and one of the things, just taking a side note, one of the things I love about Claremont is it's kind of hilly, which is very, very rare for Florida. There are not many hills in Florida. So it's a beautiful area where my aunt and uncle live, and was there with some family, my sister and my nieces, and we just had a grand time. So right now I'm actually headed over, since not very far from Orlando. My son and I are headed to the Lego store in Disney Springs. So he is a little excited about that. So sorry, slight tangent, as I'll just give you an update about what's happening in my day today. So back to the AI stuff. Okay, these videos that I've seen, and you can look them up. You can see the people who have these robots that they've built. I can't remember the name of the company, and they're Android. They are the same robots, I believe, that ran a marathon in Beijing not too long ago, and the robot won. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. Well, you can. I take that back. Sci-fi authors have been making up stuff like this for centuries now. Going the wrong way. Okay. What was I saying? Some of the impetus behind people even wanting these things is because we want things to be made simpler. We want more convenience. We want the future for our kids to look like, this vision of, maybe we all have different visions, but I'm going to use the Jetsons, for example, where everybody's in their little flying bubble cars, and Rosie the robot is cleaning house. That's my vision of the future. I like the Jetsons vision, actually. So this is where it's not that, like, I'm trying to say people behind these things are nefarious. There might be some that are, but I'm not trying to say everybody is. For the most part, I do think there are motives that are not necessarily bad. Some of the motives are even good. I guess it's time and looking back with a historical lens will probably present a little bit more clarity once these things pass and we move on into the future and see where these things lead. But I am gonna be one of those voices that is raising my hand going, can we slow these things down? Can we consider the negatives before just plowing ahead? I know I'm not alone in being concerned. There are a lot of concerns. So keeping it back in the realm of creatives and like this group of fake books that doesn't exist that makes it into a high profile magazine or journal, trust issue goes down in society. The ability to trust what is coming out, and I'm saying we have no reason to trust these AI language models because they're not fact-based. They are data-based on the available data. The available data is not exclusively fact. Some data out there is opinion, which is not the same as fact. Some of the data out there is pure fabrication and fiction. And the AI, from my understanding of, I brought up author Alan Brocken before, who is an AI specialist at a big tech company, and I interviewed him for the radio show that I used to be a part of for Sci-Fi Hour. So they are scraping from data. They cannot distinguish between fact and fiction. They can make something the human equivalent of an educated guess to see, oh, well, what seems to be the most prevalent answer. So if there is a prevalence of something, that might be the answer that the AI language model spits back, and it might happen to be a fact. But this is the problem. It might not. It might be a total lie. It might be an opinion that it is stating as fact, and sometimes it might just be bizarre, as we've seen with Grok. So yesterday or the day before, Grok got shut down for some, I'm going to say, bad behavior. And this is, you can go look into it yourself. I am not going to comment on what happened there, because ultimately Grok is not it's not a human mind. You know, you can't judge Grok in the way that you would judge a person. Just like you can't with ChatGPT. I'm saying this is my opinion, but I'm saying you can't judge it that way. It's not sentient. It's not a human being. It is spitting out scraped data, and that kind of, if you want to call it a glitch or whatever happened yesterday or the day before, you can go on X and see what happened. People took screenshots before Grok got shut down and then rebooted into Grok 4. It's essentially the way it was designed. Like, it is behaving exactly the way it was designed to behave. The people who are programming these AI language models, they end up, whether consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously, whatever the proper term would be, they end up inserting their own biases, their unconscious bias, their maybe very self-aware biases. That is just an inevitability with this type of thing. So even though you cannot, you can't look at these language models and categorize them in the same way you would categorize human behavior, there is a human element ultimately behind it and managing it to an extent. And even some of the parameters that they put around this, like that is human engineering, and that will always lead to some of these. I think these incidents are going to just keep happening. The people at the top, like Elon Musk, they have these goals in mind that these are going to be fact-based. This will be the place you go to search for all your information. I think that is a huge, huge red flag. I don't think we need to go to AI for information. I think we need to continue to learn how to critically think for ourselves. We need to teach our children how to critically think for ourselves and not rely on an AI language model that is scraping data. It's not fact-based. I think that is a huge mistake, and because there could come a day if we allow this trend. My fear, I'm just going to give my opinion, my fear is that as our children grow and these things just, if they keep going the exponential route instead of the slow down, evaluate the benefits, the cost, all those things, the outright fiction that is, for example, the article listing 20 books and half of them or more are fake. There will come a time where the people that are looking at that won't even know that that is fake, and there won't necessarily be anybody to call it out if we just rely entirely on our AI language models to give us and feed us our data. If that is our becomes our source Okay, so we're approaching, we're not too far from Disney Springs. We're actually going underneath the, I don't know what it's like a sky ride that they have here at Disney, in Disney World. It's actually, according to my car, it is 96 degrees. I don't know that we're gonna last too long because, my goodness, it is so hot. So anyway, thank you for those of you who stay this long to listen to me ramble, and have a great rest of your day. Bye. That's all for now. As you venture through this sci-fi world we all find ourselves living in, may you be the sunshine to the people around you today. Adios.